Alright, this is my 1991 Toyota Supra 1G GTE twin turbo. As you can see in the little decal there. So I got this back in February of 2017 when I came back from England, stationed down here in Florida, so ended up having it shipped over. Next, within 2 weeks, I'll get this license plate upgraded to an antique plate, which looks similar to this antique plate on the Toyota Supra, as well as my 89 MR2. So once those 2 weeks are up, then I'm gonna go down to the DMV and get that upgraded. It has a Great Britain sticker. I left that on there for originality. When a car's in England and you take it off the island, you gotta have a Great Britain sticker on it somewhere, or a magnet, letting the other drivers in the other countries let them know that you have your car's originally from England. So I just left mine on there. Twin turbo. Hatch, as you can see. There was some sports car club sticker on there I've been trying to rip off for the last few years. I just kind of just leaving it at this point. These come with the 5-spoked OEM rims. These came in the later models, 91, 92. Not to confuse these with the Mark IV 5-spoked rims. I got asked that quite a bit a few times, if those came off Mark IVs, and I'm like, no, those are Mark IIIs, later model rims. But there it is. Just kind of walked around there. I left the UK plate shoved in the window. This is originally from Japan. It was imported into England back in 2000 and, oh wait, actually later than that, 1999. Yeah, it was the Toyota Supra next door that was imported in 2005 from Japan. And here we are. So I'm gonna open up the engine, take a look in there, go to the interior, and then work our way to the back of the hatch. All right, so here, like every other Toyota, a little hatch button down here, a little switch there. Alright, so here's that 1G GTE engine. There you go. Some Japanese writing on there telling you what oil to use. But not a whole lot to it. A little cold air intake. Previous owner put coilovers on it. That's pretty much the most aftermarket stuff that's done to the car. Other than that, it's pretty much stock after that. But not a whole lot to it. Turbos are tucked away back there. Intercooler's tucked back in here. I don't know if you can be able to see it from here, but yeah, intercooler's up and down in there. Oh, there it is, actually. You can see it right in there. Yeah, it's kind of tucked away behind this overflow reservoir. Oh, so there it is for the engine there. Let me start it up for you.
Voltage.
Not the antenna going up.
Waiting for connection. Bluetooth connection success. Normal voltage. Waiting for connection.
1991 Toyota Supra GA70 model with the 1G GTE engine. Not a whole lot to it. Just like any other Supra that you've been in that's Mark III. This one has all analog. I like the older versions, or some of the other versions have digital gauges, and those ones are really cool. I wish this one had it, but I really like this because it has the temp gauge on there, and your oil pressure, battery, and then all your warnings and stuff show up on this side right here. That's it for the gauges there, really. Fog lights, coin slot. Down here it has like a little rheostat. Some of the later models had like a little rheostat down here. You could move back and forth. It'll adjust the dash lights up here. There's another coin slot here. Defroster, and then your hazards right there. This one has these actually imprinted on the buttons. On a lot of the other climate control systems and later models, especially the US models, had these little plastic films over the top, and they would break and brittle and you wouldn't be able to see them anymore, and they look trashy. These ones have slider buttons. This one's kind of broken at the top, and this one completely fell apart, so kind of got to be gentle with it. Trying to look for replacements, but everything pretty much at this point is discontinued from Toyota. I got an original OEM radio. I had to buy a new one from Japan because this one, the previous one, did not want to play out of the right speaker. But now that I've put this one in, everything works fine now. I've hooked up this little AM/FM transmitter because this thing's still tuned to Japanese radio systems. So I threw that in there and it plays just fine. As you see, it's automatic, unfortunately, but it's still fun to drive. This one does not have Thames control. Those would be right here on other models. This little cup holder kind of put here, but this one actually comes with a cup holder in the glove box, or the center console here. These adjust your mirrors down here, left or right, and these ones, since it's a Japanese model, actually have folding mirrors. So I'll put the key in there real quick and show you. So I'll hit the little retract button here, and then there's the side mirror, and they'll come inward, and then this one will push back out, which is kind of cool. And then you can adjust those mirrors depending on which side. So there's the left side. Just move that up a little bit. Put that back in the center. And then here's your center console. A lot of these armrests here are torn up. This one I found in the same color, the shadow gray, original OEM. Looks like it has a little kind of fadedness to it, but it still works just fine. And then here's the cup holder, sits right back here. Pop this off and it drops down. And there's a little lever. This drops down to hold your cups up. And that fits over the top of here. And then you have two cup holders to fit there, which is kind of nice. And then here's your little cubby hole here. Not a whole lot in there. I got some OEM clips for my MR2 in here. I need to put back above the windshield. I got some original Toyota clips to hold up panels. So if you need a OEM part there for clips, there you go. There's the clips there. And then whatever else. These door panel, these little bezels keep falling off. See, mine's off right now. Every Toyota that I've owned, or at least Supra that I've owned, these have always fallen off. Just need to put some new clips on them, and that should help. There's a lighter there. I don't really use it since I usually got the AM/FM connected 24/7. What else have we got in here? We got the glove box here. I think mine's just kind of full of different pairs of sunglasses, my registration, and so forth. A lot of people get confused when they get out of the car because they don't know where the door handle is, which is down here. And here's the switches, power windows, passenger window, and then my window right there. And power locks as well right there. And then they got the power lock on the other side, which they don't have the button for. It's only on my side. And that's pretty much everything for the cockpit portion of it. One thing to get to is underneath. This panel drops down. There's a couple of screws up in here. You can drop this down to get to some of the wiring up underneath. And then a lot of this stuff up here, a lot of the shrouding can come off too and expose a lot of the steering column stuff too if you need access to it. This bezel's kind of a pain in the ass. You gotta just screw down here, and then you can pop this off and then get back to get to the radio here, because this is kind of a pain in the ass. Once you pop this off, then you can get access to all your other buttons and switches and the radio and stuff back here. So I've had to do that a few times. These are just, this one on this side is just mounted with clips, so you can just pop this off up top here, and this will pop off. And then this is intact by a bunch of screws that run along the top here. You can see the holes for them. And then that's it. I mean, these sunshades here, a little mirror in there, and then your inside lights, and that's it. And then I guess I'll work our way to the back there. I'm gonna clean out the back a little bit and then kind of show you the rest back there. All right, so here's the back. I got one of the older models which has it fitted around the spare tire. A lot of the later models had like a piece of wood and would have the tools mounted on the back side, and it laid flush, it laid flat, so you didn't have it conform to the layout of the spare tire. I keep my seats down. I know a lot of the other versions have leather interiors, and if you're in a place where there's a lot of sun, California, Florida, they'll start to dry out, crack, break. Especially some of the older models you see up in the armrest where a lot of people get out. They usually use their elbow to push off to get out, and that's usually where you see a lot of the cracking. But this one's all microfiber, so I still try to keep it down as much as possible. Just pretty much the back here. You know, this carpet comes off here. You got the spare tire under here. But you got to be careful too, because a lot of these models here will start to rust out at the bottom, down in here. So you see a little bit of rust down in there, but it's not too bad. I usually go in there every now and then and clean it up. There should be some outlets on the bottom that have water collects in there to drain out. There's the carpet, fits all the way through. So you got a couple of access panels, one here where I keep my spare tools for the car, and there's a little OEM jack in there and a few tools, and that'll close there. This side has one too, but you can access your radio antenna. That pops off. There's the motor for it. Also, there's a drain tube for it if there's water collects, and sometimes a lot of water collects actually down here, so you gotta be careful. You see here? So that means the water needs to come out of there. There's also a light mounted here as well. And then you have your access panel for your taillights. That pops right off right there. And now you have exposed to your cluster here, and that'll pop right into place there. You got your speakers. Your rear speakers are in here. These just pop off. They're just held by clips. There's the other one, and this pulls out to hide acts as a shade, as well as hide your contents in your trunk. And those usually just clip up here on this little panel. Mine's in pretty good shape. And then if you need to access your rear wiper, you got to take this panel off here, which is held up by a bunch of clips that I showed you earlier. Pop those off, and then you have free access to your wiper motor. One thing to be careful of with these hatches is that they do tend to leak. So they usually kind of leak out the side, down the sides over here, and then you get a lot of runoff over here, which then short out your light bulbs. So you gotta be mindful of those as well. Mindful of that as well. These are also have the JDM tail lights as well. And then I got the 3-piece spoiler on it right now as well. And this is the third brake light. Mine currently doesn't work, but they're also discontinued from Toyota, but I'm also looking for a new one to replace as well. It's pretty easy to get to. Screw on each side there. And then once you take this panel off, there's 3 more screws up in here, and that'll disconnect the center part from the back of the hatch. And then there's that other screw on the left side, and then this will pop off as one piece all the way through. And then there's a screw holding this together, one single screw, and then you can just slide this out. You can see I kind of slightly chipped it a little bit there when I was trying to slide it out, but just be careful with it. And that's pretty much it for this 1990 Toyota Supra there. Hope you enjoyed it. Any questions, feel free to comment. Thanks.